Jeffrey's already relapsed, and so he thinks, well, I'm already on day 0, so if I relapse again, I'm still on day 0, so I may as well, because, it increases testosterone. Don't do it, Jeffrey. Don't you realize that you need to change your life? Will Jeffrey realize he's about to make a mistake? Let's find out at the end of this episode. Adonis realized he was on the wrong path at a very early age. He was inside of his mother's womb when he vowed to not be average. That's so He's inside of his mother's womb. From the moment of his birth, Adonis vowed to become a leader and a pinnacle of self-improvement. He inspired the young men of the world who needed to change their lives. So, picture this. It's 2020 and the COVID lockdown is just hitting in the UK. It's all over the news and there's fear amongst everyone, and we've just been told that you have to stay at home, you shouldn't socialize, you shouldn't go to the gym, whatever. I'm 21 years old and I'm in this apartment that I'm renting out in the city, and I'm in the computer that I have there. And the story starts with me picking up a particular item. A crack pipe. I'm picking up a pipe because that's the way that I used to smoke weed. Fill it up with weed, light it up, and I'm high as fuck. It's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and that's when the urges start. Normal porn, at this point, wasn't stimulating enough. So I don't go onto Pornhub or look at pictures or anything. I go to the dirtiest website on the internet, 4chan. And on this website, the kind of porn that I'm watching is so degenerate. It is not just like a normal clip of, two people having sex and you're the little monkey who watches it. It was compilations. Basically, it's like the highlight clip of 100 different porn videos put into like this 5-minute montage, which has got like trance-like music, because that's what I needed at this point in my life. So I fabbed for the first time, poorly clean up, smoke a little bit more weed, listen to some music, get some junk food, some snacks. The second time, 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. at this point, feeling like an absolute degenerate. And that's when I see a notification on my phone for the Facebook page of the building that I'm in. So the building I'm renting has its own Facebook page where people who live in this building can post if they want to communicate with other people who live in the building. And it's from a girl who's she's actually pretty attractive. And she's writing that she's just ordered a late night pizza, but they gave her the wrong one. And so she got like an extra one for free and she didn't want it to go to waste. So she was saying, if anyone's up right now, at this late time, you can come and get it. Straight away, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna end up fucking this girl. Or I hope so. And so I send her a message. And the first message I sent her literally was just, Pizza Angel. And she replies with like, ha ha ha, so do you want it? And I was like, oh yeah, what's the toppings or something? It's pineapple or some weird shit. And obviously pizza would be nice, but I'm actually thinking about something more degenerate, which is that I want to hook up with this girl. So I'm flirting with her a little bit. And then she asks again, okay, do you want to come and get it? And so I start to fantasize, okay, so I'll go over to her room, knock on the door, look nice and big and masculine, and then try and flirt with her and say something like, oh yeah, let's eat it together at your place or something. My heart starts to actually beat fast. And I start to almost like check in on myself, and I'm like, wait, I think I'm actually too high. I actually I almost feel like too high to even kind of stand up and coordinate, because I've smoked a lot. And I'm like, wait, I've already nutted twice in the last 1 hour. Is my dick even gonna get hard? And I'm having to all these demon thoughts. And I end up just texting her saying, I think I'm too high for this. And she starts sending laughing emojis. I send her one more message and she doesn't reply. I'm on this come down of, my heart, slowly returning back to normal. It was quite exhilarating being in this moment. And I'm like, fuck, did I just miss out on this potential experience? Because I was too high and I've just reset my nofap streak twice. And even though it's so degenerate, I was kind of upset about that. And I put everything away. It's 3 a.m. and I walk over to the bathroom. I'm just gonna wind down, start brushing my teeth. But I'm so out of it, I'm so high and disorientated, that I end up just standing there, staring at myself in the mirror. I've just smoked a bunch of weed. I've ate junk food. I've jacked off to fucked up porn, and I'm staring at myself in the mirror in this state of just, this is what I look like. I'll pull the same face, right? This is how I was looking at myself in the mirror I remember looking at myself like that, and the only words that would come to my mind as I was looking at myself was, holy fuck, I look ugly. Not just like, the cute physical stuff, but I felt like such a dirty, degenerate man. And I was so disappointed in myself, and I couldn't help but just to think, like, if my mother was watching me, she would be so disappointed. So what do I do next? Finish up in the bathroom, crawl into bed, tired and just fatigued, and cuddle up next to my girlfriend. All this time, I had a girlfriend who was right here in bed waiting for me. I had a girlfriend in bed waiting for me whilst I was in the other room jacking off to fucked up porn. I had a girlfriend in bed waiting for me, a girl who loved me, whilst I was in the other room texting another girl trying to cheat on my girl. I had never cheated before. I've never cheated in my life, actually. Like, this was basically cheating because I was trying to. I didn't cheat on my girlfriend that night, not because I was a man of character, but because I was literally so high and I had jacked off, like I had fapped twice in the last hour, that I physically couldn't. That was the moment that as I was going to sleep, there was no motivation and, masculine, guys, I'm gonna change my life, the rocky sound, what's it called? The sound tune of do-do-do. It wasn't a fucking montage or anything. It wasn't like some, hype moment. I was literally like dying in bed, so fatigued, so tired. It's 3 a.m. So disgusted by myself that I didn't have this aggression to say, I'm going to change my life. It was literally just me like closing my eyes saying like, basically I need to change something. Anything is better than this. The next day when I wake up, I go onto reddit.com, which is kind of like a social media, but more like a forum page where people discuss things. And I stumble across a post that's titled something like, how are you managing your mental health during this COVID lockdown? And I'm reading the posts, and some people start to mention strategies that they're using to basically improve themselves, improve their mental states, saying that the start of the lockdown was really tough and, they fell off from the gym and they were eating shit food and they were having arguments with their partner, which was exactly the same as me. And so this was the things they were doing. And the same few habits kept on popping up in all these comments of people who were saying that they're now healthy and happy. They said that they started to meditate. They were giving meditation a try. They said that they started to journal and express gratitude. They said that they started to do some exercise, even though you couldn't go to the gym. A lot of the people were saying that they were just doing what they could at home, or they were going out for long walks, dog walking, or even going running, because you were allowed to be outside to exercise, but gyms were closed. Right away, I knew that this was the path that I wanted to get on, specifically improving my mental health, because it's something clicked, and I was like, that version of me that's staring into the mirror looking like a fucking zombie, that happened because of poor mental health. And if I try to just improve my mental health, I have this feeling that I'm going to end up making more progress than if I try to stop the specific bad habit, like for example the porn, the masturbation. And so I start to focus on improving my mental health. I download this meditation app, I get a notebook, and I start to journal in there things that I'm grateful for. And remarkably, I feel the difference right away. There's a positive new attitude, new energy inside of me. There's hope that I can make progress and I don't have to stay in this weird, dark, depressing lifestyle. I'm filled with this hope that this is the way out. I know it. Something just clicked. As soon as I heard about the concept of improving your mental health, something clicked for me, and I was like, okay, this is it. I had tried different things beforehand. I tried to quit weed so many times. I had tried to quit fapping so many times. Something just happened where I was like, I did it wrong this entire time. Everyone is doing it wrong this entire time. You don't focus on quitting porn. You don't focus on quitting video games or junk food. You focus on improving your mental health, because when you have good mental health, you naturally stop these things. These things are not the problem. They are symptoms of the problem. The real problem is poor mental health. If you focus on this first, these things will go away. I wonder why so many young men have been down bad just like I was. So many young men, basically every guy I speak to was addicted to porn. Think about that. Every single guy that you speak to, that you can think of in your mind right now, was or still is addicted to porn. Every single one. And then add in video games, then add in junk food, then add in staying up late and consuming content. Why are so many men going through the same pain and the same problem? I think it's because we have a weakness inside of all of us. It's so easy for us to blame other things. It's easy for me to, make you feel happy right now by me saying like, oh yeah, it's Mark Zuckerberg's fault, or it's like this person's fault, or it's the government's fault. Truth is, we are inherently flawed with a weakness inside of us as humans that we choose the path of least resistance. We have desires inside of us. The core desires are those like primal animalistic things. Like, for example, we want to fuck, we want to fight, we want to survive, we want to feast. These are primal desires that each and every one of us has. You cannot deny that. The problem is, because of that inherent weakness of choosing the path to least resistance, we will do the things that feels like it kind of satisfies the desire, but in the modern bastardized version of it, we want to fuck, but since it's kind of hard to fuck, since you need to be a certain kind of man to attract a woman, you can just go jack off by yourself, watching porn and convincing yourself that you are with these women. We want status amongst men, but that's hard to do. That's so much resistance to build up status and respect from men. So much resistance. That takes years to develop some kind of mastery where other men respect you, but it's faster if you log on your little video game, your Call of Duty, RuneScape, Minecraft, whatever, and build up the status in there. That's why so many young men want to get prestige on a video game. They want to get the golden gun, the higher level, because we crave status all the same, and the path of least resistance is getting it in a video game. That's the weakness inside all of us, and I think that's the reason why many of us have experienced the same down bad, dark rut of our teenage years. So this is exactly what you do. I'm setting you an action step right now. Do not focus on getting rid of the bad habits, the porn, the video games, weed. It does not work. You don't quit weed. You don't quit porn. There's a reason why everyone struggles with that. Instead of focusing on getting rid of the bad habits, focus on adding in the good habits that are good for your mental health, because with good mental health, you'll naturally automatically stop doing the bad habits. I want you from now on to see the bad habits more like simply just symptoms of the poor mental health rather than the problem itself. The problem is the poor mental health. That's what we focus on. The action step that I want you to do is to vow to improve your mental health through habits like meditation, journaling, getting sunlight, living like a healthy, natural human being who goes outside and bonds with his community. Because you need to understand that this shit is actually possible. You can make a change in your mental health. When I try and give this advice to some guys, they don't believe me when I tell them that it only needs to take a few weeks for you to feel like twice or 3 times as good as you do right now, because most guys have lived with such poor mental health for years. A lot of guys are on antidepressants and they don't realize that you can literally get out of that situation in just a few weeks of living like a healthy, natural human being. You can and you will make progress in this area because it's what's required of you. The big goals that you have, the dreams that you have, the future family that you want to have, the money that you want to make, the man that you want to become is at the other side of you getting out of this rut. And men who are stupider than you, men who are lazier than you, men who are less privileged than you have achieved that transformation. They have gotten out of this rut, and so there's no reason why you can't do the same. The blueprint is in front of you. You don't focus on the bad habits. Say this right now. Do not focus on the bad habits. Focus on improving your mental health. If you have one priority for the next few weeks or the next few months, just make it that. Prioritize your mental health, and those other bad habits will just drop off completely. You'll be so surprised at how quick you can make progress. I was in that dark period of my life for over a year. Imagine that lifestyle which I just described to you, where I'm staying up late and shit for a year straight. The day that I described to you, where I stayed up late, I texted the girl about the pizza, then I woke up the next day and discovered mental health. You want to know what life was like just a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks after that day? I went from living in that apartment in the toxic relationship that I was in, addicted to porn and weed and video games and junk food, and hating my life, literally looking at myself in the mirror every day and saying horrible things about myself. Just 2 weeks later, I had moved back home to my parents' home. I started to meditate, first 20 minutes a day and then up to an hour a day. I started to wake up at 5 a.m. and go outside when it was still dark and sometimes even raining and just go for a run so that I could feel alive. I got onto what's called a dopamine detox, where I stopped spending time on the fucking internet watching videos even like this. And I just started to live in the real world. I started to do childish things like literally like climb trees. I was a grown fucking man, 21, 22 years old. And I started to go out on runs to explore. And if I would see a tree that I could climb, I'd fucking climb the tree. Sometimes I'd be, running through the streets and there'd be like a puddle and I would try and jump across it like a little fucking boy. I had built up such a happy, positive mental space and I started to enjoy life. And I won't lie to you, it's not like I didn't do any bad habits at all, but it was significantly reduced. I went weeks without fapping, weeks without sugar, without processed food, weeks without scrolling on my phone. I still messed up every now and then. I'd end up, downloading Instagram or something again and getting a bit frustrated, deleting it again. But it was like a night and day difference. That was the start of my self-improvement journey. That was the moment, the day that I realized I needed to make a change in my life. And I'm very happy and very proud of myself to say that I was able to do that fairly quickly, just when I understood the core principle of improving your life is just having a good mental state. I have a very small task for you to do right now. Scroll down to the comments of this video and write a supportive comment. You can write about your own self-improvement journey and how videos like this has helped you. And so what happened to Jeffrey at the start of this video when he was down bad and he was about to reset his nofap streak again because it was already on day 0? Maybe, hopefully, he ends up clicking on a video like this. By the way, in the description of this video, there's 2 links to free communities if you want to come and get into conversations with other guys on self-improvement. Just go have a look at the description of this video and go click on those links right now. You can also click and learn from this video right here. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.